Hey there, welcome back. And if you're new, I'm glad you're here. If you are a returning viewer, you probably notice that the sound is different again. And honestly, it's because I don't trust the mic that I just bought because of what happened with my pen review video. So we're back to using the phone mic, but anyway, let's move on. So today I'm picking out everything to go along with my May color palette. So that means fountain pens, fountain pen ink, PET, washi tape, all that good stuff for my Paper Test Designs journal that I use and for my Take a Note. Just like the last few months, I'm using the Coffee Monsterz Co's 2025 large monthly journaling kit as my palette base. But I've learned a few lessons, and this time I think I'm going to be making some changes with how I set this stuff up. So last year and even into January of this year, it was just chaos, right? And I think I've spoken about this before, but if you're new here, basically I picked inks and decorations week by week, which meant I feel like I spent more time cleaning pens than actually journaling. And then in February, I decided to try something new where I used this monthly kit to have a palette that I could build around with markers, gel pens, washi tape, decorations, etc. And I think it was a really good idea, except that I didn't end up using most of the decorations and stuff that I picked, or the markers, or the gel pens. In March, I couldn't decide between the two color combinations, so I asked you all for help, and your votes picked the inks, but I kind of forgot to plan the decorations. You know, whatever. By the end of the month, and guess what happened? I ended up with lots of pens inked up again. April was honestly more of the same. I picked my inks quickly that time though, but I skipped like kind of coordinating with the decorations. And I got excited about a whole bunch of new PET tapes that I got, and I jumped into using those, and I suddenly had a ton of pens inked up again. Yeah. So for May, I'm going to try to make it simple. I'm going to choose my decoration stuff up front. I'm going to skip markers and gel pens altogether because honestly, I'm just not really using them anymore. I'm using the PET tapes, my fountain pens, and stamps. I got really big into stamps. So there are a few markers that I do use on the summary page of each week, but that's about it. I will match this color palette as best I can. And I'm going to keep the existing inks from February, March, and or April that match. And I'm just going to add 6 new colors. That way, I think I can finally get around to cleaning some pens and storing them. I can stick to a pre-selected lineup and hopefully not fall into the ink all the pens trap that I keep seeming to fall into as the month goes on. Of course, I'm going to be keeping my ever faithful Sailor Pro Gear Stellar Black Hole inked up with Takasume because I always. But a little quick sneak peek. In May, I'm going to be doing a black ink comparison video with pigment inks and dye-based inks. So look forward to that, and a big shout out to Elude3808 for suggesting that one. All right, we've got a plan. Now we just have to make it happen. So looking at this month's color palette with these greens, reds, orange, brown, kind of some of these little vegetable colors and some blues and a kind of a blue-purple right here, I know 3 PET tapes immediately jump to mind that I want to use. The 4th PET tape we'll have to figure out because if you watched my review of the Gravitas Bifrost pen, you know that I said, come hell or high water, I am using Pilot's Ajisai ink. So that is inked up in here, ready to go, and it matches this flower right here. So I have to find like a 4th PET tape that has this blue in it, but still plays with all of the green PET tapes so that it doesn't look like one week is just really doing its own thing. That's going to be the challenge. But anyway, let's get into looking at the PET tapes that I know of, and then we'll look through the ones where I think we might have some cohesion. All right, so the first one I thought about was this one right here, but I've already used this one pretty recently. So another one that I thought about was these two right here. So these two, I thought about them, and you know what? I'm so excited to use this one on a spread. Like I can just see it. So I'm really excited about this. Plus, if you kind of look at the colors, we're still in the same realm. We have the greens and the browns and stuff like that. And this PET tape has a lot of really fun and quirky different images. So I can have a lot of fun with it. Plus, some of them have a little bit of purple or blue in them. So I can see that kind of building in that color palette. You can see here some purpley blue in this clothing here I could use to kind of help tie things together. There's some blue here as well. So, oh my God, I love this. I am really excited about using this one. Look at this bright purple one. It's awesome. Okay, so this is definitely one of the weeks, and we have to pick 4. So this one's a given. The other one that I immediately thought of was this guy right here. I guess I should say these ladies right here. I think that the green here is a little more blue-green than this right here, but I think it fits really well. Plus, it has a lot of these grays that might tie into that blue and kind of pick it up okay. Like this little girl right here has that coloring. So there's plenty of opportunities here. This dress is like a perfect match for, you know, in a cohesive story palette right there. So this one is definitely the second one. Actually, I'm getting really excited about this one again. I love this one with the flowers coming out of the shirt. Like, how freaking cute is that? So I'm also really excited because I haven't used these yet. So I got them. I looked at them. I cut them up and I stored them, and they've just been sitting there for forever. Okay, so the third one that I thought about was, I want to say it's called Boys and Cats. Regardless, I'll make sure to put the names of all these different washi tapes and the designers down in the description so you can find them. I'm pretty sure all of them have been on video so far, except for one I'll cover in a minute. So this is the other one, and like this one is just like the epitome of those colors. Look how perfect that is. Like, it's absolutely perfect. Plus, there are some in here that have the blue, like these gloves right here. And I can pick that up. So I think this is going to work out. I just have to be a little, oh my God, look at that cat with the glasses on the head of the girl with the glasses. Oh, so good. I just need to be a little bit conscious of which ones I pick out to make sure that when I flip through the month, it's not just a green, 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 blue, right? So this is definitely going to be the third one. And then now we kind of have to figure out a fourth one. And I have something in mind already, but I'm not super positive just yet. So I think it's going to be a Ding Ding tape by the artist Ding Ding. I just don't know which ones, because this blue is really bright, like the Ajisai ink. And it has the browns that are going to be in the other ones. So I think this is a really strong contender. Actually, you know what? The more I look at it, the more I think that this is it. Because I was torn between this one and, so trying to roll it up really quick. Okay. I was torn between that one and this one, because when I started thinking blues, these are the two that came to mind. Right? But this has a lot more yellows. I mean, I do plan to keep the gold ink, so maybe, I think, not sure, but it may be a combination of these two, just going through and figuring out which ones I feel like on that particular day. Oh, that's perfect. But it's, again, this one has like more blue greens to it. I'm actually kind of leaning towards this one. think this one might be it. It feels like the right blue. Let me put the rubber band back on this guy really quickly. And let's take a look. So I realize this is going to be really small, but I kind of want to just do a scribble here of the ink color and have that help me make a decision. So when it goes down on that rhodia paper, it is, to me, looking really purple, even though it's kind of a blue purple. And I feel like that's going to match this better than these light blues. But okay, so final verdict, guys. I'm going to be indecisive, and I'm just going to have both of these on hand. And maybe this will be the first week that I do, so I can spend the time doing that. We'll see when I do my live what happens. All right, and then when we look at other colors that are currently inked in my pens, there's like, it's not like, there are several that match up. So I think going all the way back to February. Yeah, okay. So I got January over here on the side. And just for the record, I really wanted to pull in either Autumn Forest or the Autumn Night After 1,000 Years, because it would go so well, but I've already done that. I'm trying to every month pick at least 3 unique ones. 3? 6. Okay. She's starting to lose it. Okay, so in terms of color matches, I still have this Sailor Kokoya in my Pilot Capless Firmo pen, and I think that that's going to be a really nice green to match those colors that we just looked at. So this one I'm going to keep inked. You can see it's a pretty, I keep clicking this thinking it's a vanishing point or a Decimo, but this is the one that you twist and then it goes back in. You can see it's kind of a, I don't know how to describe this green. It's dark and a brownish green, maybe. And I think that will go really good with the PET tapes. The other one, I think I'm going to keep inked up. And again, remember, I haven't cleaned any of these guys yet. Is the Earl Grey, because well, for starters, I have a lot of it left in this pen. It's in my TWSBI 580 ALR that's in the Iris colorway. I have so much of this left. Plus, I think that there's enough opportunity to use it. So I'm gonna keep this one inked up. That just feels like too much ink to get rid of. And then this brunch date. So I don't know if you saw or picked up on, but a lot of these here have a peachy kind of, why did I say peach? Mauve, reddish, rusty. I think that's the kind of color I'm looking for. Coloring in it. And so I think that this will be a really nice complement. Plus I am having a pen and ink day with someone, and this is one of the pens that they want to see. So I do need to ink it up again. Might as well just already have it inked, re-ink it. So not re-ink it, fill it up. So this is one that will be staying as well. Okay, and then Star Spattered Hill. There are really interesting little pieces in some of those inks. I said inks, this is what happens. I have such a hard time writing or doing something and speaking. This is ridiculous. What I'm trying to say, and I'll just show you, is these flowers and things like that. There's enough of this bright yellowy highlight. I think that it would be really nice to keep that inked up. I like options, you know? And then I think I can probably let most of these guys go. And then we have to get to here. But I missed one. I missed one because there is a green. Where did it go? Oh, here it is. The Quirky Leaf. Quirky Leaf, I have Color versus Walk the Dog in. And this is another one that he wants to try. So keep that one inked up. That'll be good for the greens. So, oh yeah, 2 more. I have 2 pens inked that aren't on here that are direct results of what I was just talking about in the beginning of the video, where wanting a color or getting a new pen or an ink, yada, yada, yada. And one of them is my Benu Vodka on the Rocks that I had inked up with The Sorrows of Young Werther. Guys, I cannot get enough of this color. This color is so good, and I love this pen, like the weight of it, everything. I really didn't think I'd be such a huge Benu fan, but like, I think I'm gonna have to get at least one more, maybe in a different nib size. So I think that's good. And then this one right here is that Goya pen that I had gotten from Pen Chalet. It's called Obsidian. It was that special one where it's a 4 of 5. And this one, I can't remember. Oh, right. Some of the PET tape I picked needed a really deep brown. And this color that I have in here is such a pretty brown that I actually have a bottle of it on the way because I only had a sample. So that's why I don't have it here. I don't have cards of it or anything, but it's Tatcha's, I think it's just Tatcha's brown, a color, but it says Cha when you get it. So maybe, but this brown is just such a pretty reddish brown kind of situation going on. So these are 8 that I'm going to keep, but I'm still going to be able to clean a lot of pens, which is phenomenal. So these 8 are going to stay. And what that looks like in cards, let's just close this for a moment, get out of the way. When you look at the cards, we have the Takasume, which always stays. You have the Sorrows of Young Werther. You have the Color vs. Walk the Dog. You have this Koikuya, I guess. The Wearingeul, Star Spattered Hill, Earl Grey, and Brunch Date. So if you remember, it hasn't been that long, but if we look at some of these tapes, you can see, oops, sorry, I'm having a hard time grabbing this from the other side. You can see how well these colors from the last couple of months fit. So now we just need to find new colors, and we already know one of them. So let's I think what I'm going to do for picking the inks that go with these, the new ones, I think I'm going to give my voice a bit of a break, which if you can hear, it's starting to crack. So I'm going to just let the music slide in while I look through different inks, and then I'll be back once I pick my 6 for May. You know what I almost forgot? My take a note. So in looking at all of the PET tape, most of it is very large and it doesn't fit very well in here. Also, I was really excited that May is a 31-day month because I can finally start using my little numbers that I have here. So I have this one, which was from the Coffee Monsterz Co. It was a 9-year freebie. I also had this one, which has really cute little designs on it. And then this is a new one that I haven't shown you guys yet, but it is 31 days. And boy, that rubber band just snapped to pieces, didn't it? And it is kind of like a rainy theme. So this one I want to save. This is going to sound silly, but I want to save this one until hurricane season, and we'll just have a really rainy month. So that means using this one. That one right there doesn't really match with all the kind of muted colors that we're doing for May, as long as you don't count the blue. So I thought what I would do instead is, instead of putting these in my regular daily journal, I would put them in my take a note, and I would use them somewhere near the top, like where I put the tiny icons, and I could use them that way. And I still kind of wanted to keep to the same color palette in here because I'm going to be using the same inks, but smaller. So this is a PET tape I haven't shown you guys. I'm fairly certain that it is a non-repeating loop, and I did not want to unwind this entire roll on camera. So it is called Safe House, and it is another one with kids and cats in boxes. So, you know I had to buy it. But it is really cute, and it goes with the same kind of color theme that we have going on this month. So since they're smaller as well, they fit nearly like perfectly over here in the sidebar area. And I think that the colors are in such a way, maybe not some of them, but it'll be less obtrusive to have them over here. So that's what I will be doing for my take-a-note calendar. Hey, Editing Heather here. Sorry about that. I somehow missed that piece. So anyway, back to the inks. Okay, I think I'm done. So, you like this? It's pretty clever, trying to use the ruler to hold them down since they keep wanting to curl up. Here's what I've picked. And keep in mind, the color that's on these coloring cards isn't always very accurate. And neither is the swatches in my Cosmo Airlight paper. But for for the purposes of showing easily, this is what we're going to do. So I picked the Dominant Industry Allegory because I know I already have this Sorrow's a Young Werther, but I feel like it's going to be different on different paper. That's my hope anyway. So fingers crossed it is actually different, because when you look at them on the coloring cards and in the Cosmo Air, they're similar-ish, but we'll see. So I picked that one. I also like to include a couple of shimmers. So I picked this Dusted Truffle, which is one of my favorites, this brown that has the silvery shimmer. I mean, it just goes so perfectly with so many of these. And then Path, I'm really excited to use this. I haven't really inked it up yet this year. This is one of my favorites, and I feel like it's a good fit for some of these. And even if it isn't, it's getting inked up. And then Wearingeul has this one. I don't know how to pronounce this, if it's Shock or Shack, but I feel like there's a lot of tan spots in here where this matches really well. So I picked that one. It does write pretty light, so I'm probably going to have to put it in a very broad nib, and it'll probably just be for headers, not headlines. And this is the Ajisai that I have. So that's the Given. So you may have seen me trying to kind of find ones that had a little bit of blue in them. And then I think I'm going to try this Ferris Wheel Press's Curious Woods, because there are so many of these that have this dark brown green to them, and I think this kind of chameleon sort of shimmer situation that this has going on will look really cool. All right, so final palette, final colors. It's gonna look like this, and I seriously hope that I don't end up inking up another pen. So let's put the browns kind of together. I know these look so similar, but you know, whatever. All right, I think that's going to be it. Now that the colors are all picked, I need to ink up the pens that I picked for them. I kind of did that off camera because as I was picking the inks, I was also thinking about the pens. So here's what it's going to look like, and I will get the pens for you. So this one I want to put in my, I need my cheat sheet of all the names of everything. So let's start with this one actually. Path is going to go in my Pelikan M400. That is the tortoiseshell white. This is my favorite pen for using shimmer in. And then the Dusted Truffle is going to go in this Pelikan. This is my M200, and this is going to be the final decision on if I keep this pen or not, because I've used it once before and I find the nib too fine, too scratchy. It's the steel one. So if I don't like it this month, then this is definitely going to be one of the pens that I sell. Then for, all right, this one right here, you can barely tell it, but this is a 3776. I don't know how best to say that. Platinum, Laurel Green. I'm going to put the Curious Woods in it. And then Allegory, I'm going to put in my Starry Sky. This is my Sailor Pro Gear Slim. And then since I had mentioned that I think this needs a big nib, I'm going to put this in my Platinum 3776 with the coarse nib. It's very broad nib, so that should be good there. And then I have no idea where that pin, oh, and then we all know that this one's what's inked up there. Okay, let me go get these inked up. All right, now that the desk is all cleaned up, we can get to swatching. So I was super excited to be able to get this fox and dog stamp from Yoseka. It had been sold out for so long and it finally came back in. So that is immediately what I picked for this month. I think I originally had another plan for it, but it's just, It's so good. Like, how can you not? All right, this has been sitting here for a little while, so it should be good to go. And then the ink colors, why am I missing one? Oh, there it is. Need to figure out the best way that they're going to look on the page, since they're kind of, I think I'm going to go like this. Yeah, I think I'll go and put them on the page like this. Also, I have a new toy. So I got a glass dip pen from an Etsy shop called Glass Liebman. It is the same style glass pen that my bestie has. I just picked a different color. And I haven't shown it to you guys yet, but I thought this would be a good opportunity to. This is the amber colorway. And I know a lot of you guys prefer writing samples done with an actual pen and stuff. Of course, I do that. I mainly have this out because I want to try using this end to see if it's kind of an all-in-one pen where I can write and I can swatch, just like I use that Dominant Industries little tiny glass one. So we'll see. All right, let's figure out, okay, we're gonna do these like this and these like this. Okay, well, I made a royal mess of this situation. We'll get to it. I don't think we need to wait for these to fully dry to be done because we've all seen these with the Ink Madness stuff, but let's just do a quick close-up. So this is Wearingeul's Path, and it is in my Pelikan 400 extra fine, which, you guys, if you don't have a gold nib pen yet, and it is something that you are interested in getting, this isn't exactly a complete entry-level one, but it is one of my favorite pens ever. It handles things so well, plus the nib comes out completely when you clean it, so you can really, really clean it, and you never have leftover shimmer. At least I don't. So something to consider. That one is really good. All right, and then we have the Pilot Ajisai in the Bifrost. And then the Dominant Industry Allegory in Starry Sky, which is this pen, which is, I don't think I've shown you guys this one before, but it's one of the first ones I've got. It's just so incredibly pretty. I love this one a lot. I am really interested to see what color this shows up on normal paper. And then we have the Ferris Wheel Press Curious Woods. That is in my Laurel Green 3776. And it has pink and green kind of chameleon shimmer, which I don't know if it's going to pick up. You kind of have to hit it at the right angle, pretty steep, to see the pink. And then here's where it all fell apart. I grabbed the wrong pen, looked at the wrong ink. Long story short, the Pelikan 3776 with the coarse nib has the Wearingeul shock, because I knew that this needed to be a broader nib to be able to see it. And the Pelikan M200 copper with rose gold has the dusted truffle in it. So this is correct, and this is actually shock. So I wasn't going to redo the page. Made do. We're all human. What are you going to do? All right, that's it. This is the complete color palette. Well, once you add these guys, the complete color palette for May 2025. This is definitely my new currently inked right here that you see in front of you. This Bifrost pen is gonna drive me a little bit nuts putting the cap on it. It tweaks a little bit sometimes, and then it rolls, so because it doesn't have a clip, and that's, we'll work through it. But anyway, if you enjoyed hanging out with me and diving into all this chaos that you see, especially this terrible mess that's in the bottom right hand corner of this page, please give this video a thumbs up. It does help the channel. And if you're as obsessed with stationery as I am, please hit subscribe, and then you won't miss any of my videos. Also, do me a favor, drop a comment below and let me know what colors you've picked for May. I'm really interested in seeing what your picks are. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next video.